Good afternoon. This is Mata Matarenda Shumba on Radio 54 African Panorama. Creating the Africa we want on Radio 54 African Panorama. Welcome to the show. I see that we already have Faith Muguludu already in studio. Tackling this issue, like I said, we're gonna have women in the house just to celebrate International Women's Month for the last time. It hasn't been easy, just being March, and the 8th of March is International Women's Day. Now is International, closing up International Women's Month. Well, it's difficult, when you are not a woman, you wouldn't understand why we are doing this. You wouldn't understand why each and everything should be about women. But you only understand if you take it as women are our mothers, women are everything that we have, women are our sisters, women are our daughters. If you take it that way, you'll be just fine, and you wouldn't have an issue with every day being a Women's Day. We need to celebrate our female leaders. We need to celebrate our mothers, our grandmothers, and so forth. Even men, when they are facing issues and any challenges, they go back to their mothers, to cry about this, complain about that, complain about another woman. They go to their mothers. To complain about their daughters, they go to their mothers. So there is more reason for us to actually celebrate women. And today we are focusing on the topic, Be Bold for Change, Women Taking Leadership Space in Creating the Africa We Want. I see that we already have other women in the house, and some are still logging in. Network could be just a problem, but we'll try as much as we can. Good afternoon, Faith. I see you are already here. Hello, Faith, can you hear me? Yes, good afternoon. I see you are already in studio. Okay,
if you decide that you will be poor, there's nothing I can do. You're gonna be poor. If you decide to be rich today, who gonna stop you? Who? If you decide you want to be rich, all you gotta do is start. Why not? Who gonna stop you? Unless you tell it to the wrong person.
Yeah, I just had to play that clip. Somebody just sent it to me just now, saying this is my inspiration each and every day. A woman, by the way, sent me that clip saying this is my inspiration each and every morning. So before I do anything, that's my cup of coffee. I love that so much because when you wake up, there's just a lot of stuff that are happening. Husbands troubling you, kids troubling you, the scum of the earth, the news, everything. So if you can have some sort of motivation, whether it's from Steve Harvey or from Radio 54 African Panorama, just to make sure that you drink that, you make that your cup of tea, so that you start your day energized. I see we have another guest who just logged in. Good afternoon, Tentai. I see you are with us now. I know you are on the road, but said, I'm just going to pack for this one. I just want to make sure that I'm packed and I am tuned in. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you, Mata? Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm on the road, as you said, but I think in 30 minutes I'll arrive and then I can properly listen to this and participate. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you properly.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today to participate on the show. It's women like you that we need, on the forefront, pushing in business and in politics. Faith just sent a message. Network is doing gangster on me. Yeah, I'm so sorry for that. Faith, can you hear me now? Good afternoon. Okay, we have
It's
another
easy to
issue.
It's easy to give up.
Hell
it's
yeah.
easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yo, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm going to do the same thing again today, but I'm going to try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying.
Yeah, that's playing these clips that these ladies are sending because I did ask them to send some sort of their motivation each morning when they wake up. Who do they listen to? What do they do? Or they start checking on partners. Who were you chatting to last night? Who were you talking to yesterday? So some of them said, nope, we've moved on from that, and what we are doing now is waking up to some sort of motivation, to some sort of cup of coffee, a different cup of coffee that we make sure that we drink before going out there, before meeting angry people on the road, before meeting angry people in the streets, at the office. People have issues out there. They're like dustbins. They walk around collecting, and if you are in the wrong place, they will just come and pour the rubbish on you, and you ask yourself, what did I do to this person? No, you didn't do anything. They've been collecting a lot of nonsense along the way, from marriages, from relationships, from kids, from situations that are beyond them. So they walk around with all of that, and you are just unlucky to bump into such people. So I've been collecting a lot of videos to say, just send a video of who you listened to or what you listened to in the past, at least 30 minutes, so that we can just get to know what kind of person you are and what you would want other people, what you would aspire other people to be. Before the ladies joined in, I was talking about Samia Hassan, who was sworn in as Tanzania's first president, making history as becoming the first female leader of the East African country. People have been just looking up and saying, wow, she's 61. Well, we can't say she's a young person, but yeah, she's too young, compared to other people who got into power at the age of 76. Men in power. So even when they are 100, they still just want to be in power. At least we have a 61-year-old sworn in, a female. And I think for women, it's a win. It's something that we can look at and say, well, yay, the future is female. We are so proud. We are so proud. We are so happy. We are good to go. But then, looking at what Tanzania is and how Magufuli have been leading Tanzania, the changes and everything, can Samia feel in that? Can she push the same vision, or she has her own vision that's just going to be a little different and do things the Samia way? Because most of the mistakes that we make as Africans or as human beings, it's just that we look at the current leader, and compare with the previous leader to say, who Magufuli was. Is she going to be like that? We saw that when the president of Zimbabwe, Mnangagwa, took over. Rather than to look at him as Idi Mnangagwa taking over and bringing him his Shumba charm, we were looking at what Mugabe was, how he spoke, how he did things, and expected the same. So I think that contradiction of expectations can create a lot of problems. So we need to look at Samia as Samia, the new female president of Tanzania, and take it from there. She will fill in the biggest issues where Pan-Africans are concerned, but I believe and trust that she will play a role that needs to be played. She will do what's right for the people of Tanzania. She will do what's right for Africa. She will do what's right as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter, looking at the challenges in another way. normally as women we are called emotional beings. Like, you guys are emotional, you just go all over with your emotions. But I think emotions are a good thing, because when men get angry, they send soldiers to war. Yes. And women and children suffer in the process. When men are angry and being emotional, they make decisions that gets civil people, just civilians getting hurt. So I think at this point in time, we need that motherly leader, someone who look at the vulnerability of her children, the vulnerability of the country, to say this is what needs to be done. And the decisions, she's a strong person. We've had female warriors who conquered men. But don't get me wrong, this is not a competition, this is not a comparison, but I'm just saying many people have looked at, as a woman, she might not be strong enough to play that role. But we give examples of the female leaders that we've had, the female warriors that we've had, the Mbuyane Handers, the Queen Nzingas that I mentioned earlier, who really played their role wholeheartedly. I was just saying this as we wait for our guests. Most are really struggling with network. I have a lot of them in Zim, and I understand the situation. Network that side can be so crap. And also Tenda, who is on the road, she will shout out as soon as she is in a position to engage. Faith, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Faith. I think we still have a problem with her logging in. We still have an issue with her logging in. Good afternoon, Faith. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much. Welcome to Radio 54 African Panorama. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much. It is an amazing and a humbling opportunity to be here with you and all other powerful women to have this lucrative discussion.
Okay, thank you so much. Kubonga mina, because I was just looking at your bio, the things that you are doing, things that you have done, being a life guide and everything. It's amazing. It's amazing, when we see women, especially young women, going out there and doing quite a lot. You are at Lily Blossom Academy. You are a certified mental health aider. You are a life guide, a brand ambassador for Harare Metropolitan Baseball, student at Zim Open University. You volunteer for gender-based violence projects, quality education, mental health advocate, prophetic intercessor. How has been your journey as a woman, or we shouldn't look at gender?
Oh, you just made my afternoon. You know, Martha, it really because okay, maybe I should start from the time I grew up in terms of how society, the society I was in, deemed women, especially being in the church or as a prophetic intercessor. Where I grew up, we were taught that women are not allowed to preach, they are not allowed to minister. Their duty is just to sit at the back and just listen. And for me, at that time, breaking away from that kind of notion, it was hard because already you're a young woman who is maybe fighting against patriarchal society, not only in the church, but the church is supposed to be a place or religious institutions are supposed to be a place where you find comfort and where you find strength, uh, because of being in support systems. But the very same people that are supposed to bring comfort, they are the same people saying, "Why are you doing this? We don't believe in women who wear makeup or who wear trousers or any kind of jewelry." So uh, it was really hard. However, I over time, as my journey went through, I realized that we can never stop people from saying what they want to say. But
That's
someone
right.
once said that, exactly. Someone once said that um, what happens to us is 10%, but 90% is how we react to it. So
That's true.
as women, because after being called all sorts of names from the religious sector, from even if you're trying to be in the political spaces, uh, there will always be people, okay. And also even just walking in town, and me being a light person, be like, there'll be derogatory statements like, uh like
Yellow
giant
bone.
or yellow born, things like that. They're like, hey, it's sometimes it's very it's sexual harassment, if I should so say. But then now, if we are to change the perception of uh men or males around, it will take a long time. So now I had to
That's true.
develop a conscious decision to develop a thick skin, because some people will just never change, no matter how much we may try to do this and this. So I just said, okay, you know what, Faith, this is what you want to do. Now you have to realize that first and foremost, you have to understand your purpose. I had,
That's
Martha,
true.
if I tell you, if I did not understand my purpose, it was going to be a hard journey, a harder journey, because
Yes.
where there is purpose, where there is purpose, you understand that no matter what will come my way, I have to get back up and I have to continue running the race. No matter where
That's right.
or whosoever uh, tries to degrade me or to block me, I still have to get back up. It's not about falling. So many times we fall, Martha, so many
Yeah.
times. But you see, but now it is for us to get back up and say, okay, dust yourself up, put on your makeup or whatever people put on, and just say, you know what, I got this. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I got this. I know where I'm going. I know what I want to achieve. And
Yeah.
through it all, you still run the race. So that has been my mantra, that no matter how much I fall, I have to get back up. Even if it means I have to get back up after 2 weeks or 1 week or 1 day or 2 years, I just have to get back up because I understand my purpose. And the passion in me makes it very hard to let go of what I desire to see in Zimbabwe for what I desire to see in Africa.
That's right.
Yes.
It's quite interesting, and I love how you are putting it. Understanding your purpose, that's the first thing. But given the setup in Africa, women take too long to understand their purpose. Because understanding your purpose, I believe it doesn't just happen overnight, like just waking up. This is me understanding my purpose. Somebody have to
Mm-hmm.
lead me to that level, whether it's the
Mm-hmm.
influence from my parents, from my environment, church, work, something have to be breathed within me. And the
Mm-hmm.
platforms will present themselves. So when we look at men and women, men were given that opportunity at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
They are given that opportunity to lead, to do all those jobs that are, always pushing them to their opportunity, to their
Mm-hmm.
what you call it, to their purpose. But when it comes to women, this is a totally different scenario. So, do
That is
you
true.
feel sometimes like you are being disadvantaged just by being a woman?
Definitely, Martha. the world, even if we look back, even back in the ancient days, it has always been that, the woman's duty is just to be at home and to take care of the children and to cook for her husband and do chores. But then also, we also see, okay, coming from the perspective that I'm coming from the church, is that we also see in the Bible there was a woman called Deborah. She was a judge in
Yes.
the city of Israel, and she was also a woman of God, meaning
And
that she was a pastor, a prophetess, as well as a politician. And even the soldiers there, they were like, Deborah, we are not going to war without you there.
that's
And
true.
she
That's
she
right.
she went with them. So, and she was also married, meaning that you can have a woman who is a pastor, who is a politician, and who is a wonderful wife. Now, because
Yes.
women naturally, we are able to multitask. Now,
Mm-hmm.
because of how a lot of we are teaching women how to be great leaders, but we are not
That's right.
capacitating the men how to handle a strong
Mm-hmm.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the gap is. So the disadvantage will be there. I mean, anything really, we cannot say we can really eliminate all of it. But here,
That's right.
from how I managed uh, from own experience, to maneuver through all of these systems is the topic, our topic of discussion is taking. If we look
Mm-hmm.
in the dictionary, how we define taking leadership, meaning to
That's true.
possess, it is something that
Yeah.
you go after. So as women,
Mm-hmm.
the mango will not fall from the tree for us. We have to climb the tree and get the mango. You see, so already to me, actually, I think maybe we are like super women because we have wings to fly and to reach the mango tree.
Tell
Because
us. Tell us. Tell us. We
you
want
see,
to hear these things because, to be honest, there is a woman sitting at home feeling sorry for herself simply because the
mm-hmm,
society taught her something else. Society
mm,
told her something else that is completely different. You don't know how
mm.
many times women are told they are not good enough. You
Oh
don't
yes.
know, like in many African societies, we are raised to satisfy men, being taught
Mm-hmm,
we
mm-hmm,
go Nana Chinamari and all of that, which is culture, it's fine. It's good to have all
mm-hmm,
of those things, but there are important things that we are not taught. When a marriage
mm-hmm,
fails, they always blame the woman. What did you do?
mm,
When a marriage fails, they go to a man, give him a pat on the
mm,
back, and say,
mm,
you know what? You can find someone better.
mm. That's true. That is true.
So
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel that there is just a lot of things that does not add up. And I'm just reading comments here from Ajamu, King Ajamu Nietzsche,
Mm.
who is saying Western religion is strictly patriarchal. Women are the true administrators of the world and the universe. This is a guy saying these things, by the way.
Wow.
So kudos to him.
Wow.
And
Wow.
you know, we
We
this is
salute
a win.
you.
This is a win. He said in ancient times, women were leaders of the entire nations. Western
Mm,
patriarchy concepts, let me just show it here on the screen. Western patriarchal concepts have dominated our African minds through
mm,
neocolonialism. So
mm.
I think we need a lot of King Ajamus. If we can have 100 in each country, I'm telling you, women can do better. Because,
Definitely,
because the other
definitely,
team that we
definitely.
have, yes,
Mm,
the other team that we have, they feel like we are there to attack them.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't know if your radio is on, if you can just mute that, or because I can hear the sound.
From my side,
I don't know if it's your side.
no, I don't have a radio.
Well, okay, That's fine. I think let me just see who I can mute here. I can hear some background.
Let me try to mute and if it's still there.
Okay. As we wait for other women to just tune in, this is Martha Matarenda Sugar creating the Africa we want. I just want to read something that I wrote on the 13th of March. This is on my Facebook. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. It seems there's a mic that's open.
Is it the background from here, from my side?
Not really sure. Let me see if I can mute that. I think it's from Tariro. Good afternoon, Tariro. So good to have you here. I know you are struggling with your network. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. That's fine. I wrote something here on the 13th of March where I said we had female leaders in Africa since the beginning of time. How did they do it? Why today's women fighting for equality? Did the Bible lead to oppression of women in Africa? How do we take back our power without disempowering men? Why are we even in some power battle? Looking at these powerful women makes one think deep. Number one, Amina, the queen of Zaria, Nigeria. Kandake, the empress of Ethiopia. Makeda, the queen of Sheba. Nefertiti, queen of ancient Kemet, Egypt. Ya Asantewa from Ghana. Mbuyane Andacharonyaka Skana, spirit medium from Zim. Queen Nandi, the Zulu kingdom. Queen Moremi, kingdom of Nigeria. Queen Lozekei, queen of the Ndebele. Queen Zinga, Angola. Queen Yamazana, the Ndebele. With these women who really led men back in the day, they did very well. And just looking at their history or researching on what they stood for, I've never had them fighting for, just to fit in. They were just respected just like that. So I don't know where the misfit is or what King Ajam is saying about African spirituality, which is about a Western religion, which is strictly patriarchal. Maybe that could have been the reason, and it's just been passed on to our African communities that never had those kind of limitations. So I don't know, how do we take back our power without disempowering men, without making it some sort of a power game? Faith, I think you are the one with the proper network currently.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Right now there is need to be a balance between, as when we are capacitating the women, we also need to have programs that also capacitate the men.
That's right.
And because, okay, I will go back again to, there's a statement about the Bible that does it oppress women. The Bible, a lot of people have abused it in how they interpret it, because there is a scripture that says a woman is supposed to submit to a husband.
Mm-hmm.
It does not say to a man in the workplace.
Oh,
If a woman is the boss, if the woman is the boss in a workplace, if a woman is the president, if a woman is the chief engineer, then the men have to submit to her authority, not because she's a woman, but because of the title she carries in the workplace.
Yeah, hey, go on. I'm listening. I'm listening. Yeah.
So, because now, yes, the woman, she has to be loving to her husband, But now let's just take, for example, if the husband and the wife, they work in the same organization, and it so happens that the wife is the one who is now the CEO. He has to know and realize that she is now wearing the jacket of a CEO, not the jacket of a wife. When they leave the office doors and they are in their car going home, she removes the jacket of a CEO and wears the jacket of a wife. You see,
Okay,
so
okay.
there is need for there to be that demarcation, which is very hard really to do. I think there we need other uh, opinions on how best can we know when a person is now wearing this jacket of leadership and when this person is now wearing the jacket of being a wife. And if they're in this, because there are couples that work in the same place without also diminishing the authority of the man in the home. And also the men also have to realize that if Mrs. is chairing a meeting, he doesn't have to interject her because he's thinking, okay, she said the wrong thing. She's the boss.
That's right.
You see. So the programming, so far the programs that we have or that has been pushed is just to empower women without also capacitating the men on how to handle an empowered woman. So therefore
That's
now, so you see, so and also there's also a very thin line in being empowered and also being bitter, because
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
an empowered woman has to know that she is enough as her own. She is good by herself. And also understanding that she does not have to degrade a man for her to find her own relevance.
That's true. So
Because
now I
now,
okay, go on.
yes, yes. No, 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 it's
I want
okay.
okay, I wanted to ask you a question regarding what you say.
Mhm,
When we empower women, we also need to make sure
mhm,
that men are empowered so that they can understand how to handle an empowered woman. But whose duty is
yes.
that? Whose duty is that? Because as mothers, I've noticed that as mothers and sisters, we have this
Mhm,
brother or my son who is out
mhm,
there dating an empowered
mhm,
woman. He comes and
mhm,
complains because he can't fit into that. The next thing is like
mhm,
those kind of women. She can't work, man. Go to the village and get a proper woman. We are the women who
mhm,
do that. We are the women
mhm,
who
mhm,
advise them to leave such a woman and go for a
mhm,
better woman. So
mhm,
whose
mhm,
duty is it to then empower a guy to fit into this empowered woman's life?
mm. Wow. No, Martha, this is this question is it is a very sad reality that women are also disempowering other women. Uh,
That's right.
I think this now goes back to um, where self-esteem, as you mentioned earlier about how women were brought up maybe being told that you're not enough, you are lesser than a man. So now what happens is in the home setup, when a mother or a sister to a man and brings this woman who is a doctor or who is a politician to meet his parents and his sisters, uh, as you mentioned that they will say, no, we need someone who's got a lower uh, class in terms of qualifications or something. Why? Because these women, their self-esteem is not to par. So they feel threatened
That's true.
by this woman who understands her purpose, by this woman who is walking in her path. So now this we go back to how, because there are seven things that mold a person, and
Okay.
we are talking about the religious side. The religious side, it molds how a person thinks, how they operate, and how they do things. And we also talk about how a person handles finances. Yeah, how if the woman was taught to to be a responsible woman in handling finances, or was she always expecting to get pocket money from her father or from her mother? And we're also talking about how the family, the family's values, how did they make the children grow up? If they were eating, I'll give an example. Where I grew up, if we were cooking a
Yeah.
chicken, every person will get two pieces. There was no, this is the mother, this is the father, or this is the child. No, no, no. Everyone would get subconsciously. My mom and my dad, they taught us that everyone is equal. So it was an automatic thing. Even my nephew, he's I think he's 9 now. But if you see him, he'll get the same pieces of meat as the adults. So the family has to be deliberate. Now, this is where the NGOs come in.
Okay.
NGOs provide capacity building with programs that help families understand that the boy child and the girl child, they are equal. They are not in a
Okay.
competition with each other. They are not, and everyone is if it's housework, the man also has to know how to sweep the house. If it's the girl, she also has to be able to dig outside. Just so that there is that unity of purpose and that uh, equality that is there. So this is the pillar of the family, the responsibility. Now then we go back to the pillar of education. Our education system has really taught us that for you to be number one, you have to be in a competition with so and so. Mother, do you
That's
know that there are people who are very intellectual in terms of they know how to read algorithms and mathematical concepts, etc. But then there's another person who may not be well versed in how to do mathematical algorithms, but maybe if you play them a song, they are able to understand it.
that's true.
So
That's very
we
well.
have we have made especially here in Africa, we've made our education system to be uh, a system that uh, one size fits all. Therefore, it has made other people feel as if they are dull. But they are not dull, they just have different ways of interpreting information,
That's true.
you see. So then we go, so our education system as well is to play that we also need from a very young age. We also need to have programs where we
That's true.
capacitate uh, the children from ECD. We need to have those emotional intelligent activities, anger management, or any kind of activities that encourages equality. Yeah. Then we go into the political spaces or the governance spaces, whereby from a young age people are already, they know, maybe they have an idea. As a child is growing up, you know, okay, this child really loves to draw, or this person really loves to talk a lot, or they love to sing. So
That's me. I
capacity
love to talk to you.
to capacitate the children from where they are growing up in their different gifts and talents, and making them grow in that, so that when they are able to understand, if they want to become an engineer, they'll be like, oh, okay, at least I've been trained, I've been I was already being capacitated using my gifts and talents. So you see, all of these seven pillars, they are very important and crucial, and it is everyone's duty. Even the media has a role to play. So we cannot say that so and so is solely responsible. No, everyone has got a role to play into bringing about the change we desire to see in Africa, and how more women will be able to stand in leadership positions.
Wow, this is brilliant, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this because wow, I was hoping to just get some just a little bit of information, but you just give us all of it. What we need to do from family level, the educational system, the politics and governance. I just want to read something here from our Radio 54 family group from Alex, who is saying, I work in the same company with my wife. She has a higher position than mine. Other employees don't even know she's my wife unless someone tells them. I assisted her doing research for the position. We have no friction at home and at work. This is great stuff. This is brilliant. I don't know, Alex, how you did that, but I think this all goes back to choosing the right partner. Somebody, just finding your other rib, because we have these types that we are always looking for that don't really fit well with us. And when relationships start failing, we want to go all bitter. I'm just picking up from your points when you say there's a difference between being empowered and being bitter. And we have a lot of female activists out there who are more bitter than being empowered. And you can see them, you can tell them, and you can tell by their behavior, their personalities and everything and how they do things, that this is bitterness. This is not fighting for equality or for rights, but to get back to society, to get back to whoever have wounded me, which is very wrong. We should take our pain to push us to our purpose. Take it as if this is a path that prepared me to be where I should be, to be where I am today. This is like what Max Moy would say. He always said, your life experiences is a pressure cooker to prepare you for greatness. So we tend to turn this pressure cooker into all sorts of bitterness, going all angry, attacking even the innocent. And when we look at single mothers, especially single mothers, who are raising the boy child, they turn these boys into monsters by denying them the masculinity that they need to become a better man, a good man who understand this kind of setups. In the house, you are clicking your tongues. Hey, you know, when it comes to my daughter, hey, sorry, you want to murder everyone, and the boy is listening. The next woman that he meets is behaving in the same way. He's not able to cool her down. He goes into a defensive mode and he wants to defend himself from all the wrath and anger and stuff. An empowered woman should strive to be the best version of a mother, of a sister, of a leader, of a wife. And I will really coach you going forward. The uniform, the overall that you wear as a CEO, it ends at your company's doorstep. Once you are home, you submit to your husband. And submission simply means to your husband. A man at work, if you are in a position of authority, should salute you because of your position of power.
Exactly.
So that one, I took it to heart. And I really loved that. And you mentioned something that women actually, causing a lot of problems by not. I gave the example of the sister-in-law and the mother-in-law. Do you think, because I saw in another group, I think we're in the same group for Zimbabwe Women's Forum, where someone was saying, we have become each other's enemies. Do you believe that as women we have become each other's enemies and we are, our own enemy, our own evil?
Thank you so much, Martha. To a larger extent, yes, we have. Why? Because we go back again to the family setup in how we were always taught that we are in competition with other children, our sisters or our brothers. So that mindset, because it's all in the mind, that mindset now, it grows up with us, even to, you know, up until we are adults or etc. Because we think that if someone is shining bright, it means that my light will not shine as well. But we as women, we need to understand that each and every one of us, there is no other mother like you. You were born with
That's
what you
right.
were born with, the strengths that you have, the mind, the weaknesses that you have, uh the capabilities that you have, everything that entails who mother is not what entails who faith is. So if each and every one of us as women, we are able to understand that we have different purposes and paths, and no matter how bright someone's, because okay, I'll give an example. It is not everyone who's meant to be a CEO. If everyone wants to be a CEO, that means there will be no workers.
Yeah, that's true.
And if everyone was meant to be an engineer, it means then there'll be no teachers, there'll be no doctors, and so forth. So this is where purpose again it comes in. It
It
all
comes
boils
into
down to
play.
purpose. When we understand our purpose, why we were born as women in our own capacities, then we are able to look past how someone's star is shining. Because if we understand that times and seasons they are different, if Martha's season was meant to shine from 2010 until to 2050 or whatsoever, and another person's star is meant to shine from 2020 until 2030, then so be it. We just have to also have that capacitation of realizing that we are who we are, and no matter who is in the space, as long as we are all walking in our purpose, then there is no need for us to hate on each other. This is the number one problem, because we have so many women who don't understand where they are going, why they are doing what they are doing, and a lot of times people they get in, as you mentioned, that they become activists or so forth because of bitterness. It is not about passion,
Yeah.
or it is not about empowering. There is where they want to get back to to society, right? Instead of, okay, delivering other women from maybe bondages. That is true. However, now, because of that, it's a lot of work, Martha. It is a lot of work that we have to do. And also, we cannot say, Kuti, uh, we want to be given that we as women have to have a deliberate, we have to make deliberate decisions that, okay, I've got these scars from growing up. On my way forward, what am I doing? Am I going to be the bridge to someone else's prosperity, or am I going to be the number one catalyst to destroy someone's reputation, who is my sister?
And it seems
So we
like you
have
are
to
very good
decide.
at that.
Mm. So you see, we have to make deliberate decisions. Are we going to be a bridge, or are we going to be a catalyst of destruction?
Yeah, bridge or
Because what
catalyst.
happened to us, mm, what happened to us. We cannot change the past. We cannot. So now, going forward, mother, as adults, or as teenagers, or as young adults, or etc., what are we doing now to push the next woman forward? We may not like each other, but for the purpose of making Africa shine, we have to find a way to work together.
That's true. That's so true, and I believe that unity is possible. I see that Tendai Margot just joined us in. Good afternoon, Tendai. Tendai, she's a politician and a businesswoman who's doing very well. Talk about a hustler here. She do it. She's into construction. Set up her own construction company. She is a mining engineer, one of the first to be certified in Zimbabwe, by the way. So we are not talking about a small person here. We have a big woman in the house, and yeah, she is here. Or I saw that her network had just kicked her out. Good afternoon, Tentai. You just joined us in.
Hi, Martha. How are you? Hi, is it Faith? Who else is in? How are you,
We have
ladies?
Faith. Yes, we have Faith, and we have Tariro also in the background. The network is giving a trouble. And we
Okay.
also have a king in the house. I'm just going to introduce him just now. We have something to say. So I said, let me add you in. But I just want to hear what the ladies have to say first. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You are a woman in business and in politics, and we have heard numerous conversations between you and I regarding regarding all this issue of women pulling each other down. You want to get there, and there is a woman who is not really supporting you. And I think you have shared quite a number of scenarios. How are you able to to fight that and still save your purpose and still help the next woman, regardless of how women have screwed you up?
First of all, I would like to thank you, Martha, for having us on this platform so that we as women can share our experiences and express whatever things that we come across in the industry as women in business, as women in leadership, or let me say influential positions. First things first, I think I've had appetite for male-dominated industries since I was growing up. I was actually laughing this other day. There's a group, a group from my home area there. I don't know how it happened, but I'm still their admin. Back then, I was still their head girl when I was there at school. So I think this leadership thing follows me everywhere. Although sometimes we are limited by resources to realize our potential. I want to thank, there are some people in the industry who have supported me, men and women, and there are those also, those who won't support you, whether you do good or bad. They just watch, and some hope silently or secretly that you fail. In the industry that I have worked in, that is first the mining industry. As a mine overseer, I'm a qualified mine overseer. I can blast, I can drill, I can do everything. But the challenge is already through the society that we grew up in, a man is perceived to be a better overseer miner than over a woman. You know what I'm talking about, and which is kind of true sometimes, because when you are underground, for example, there's some energy or there's some strength that you need sometimes that as a woman naturally you don't have it. That's a fact. We can't run away from that. Okay, so now what usually happens in those types of jobs? Sometimes you need the strength more than maybe your will to do the job. Yes, you'll be willing to do the job, but you don't have that kind of strength to do. Just like I want to fight a man, we want to fight, to exchange like fist fight, but naturally I'm created to be weaker than the men. So those are some of the things as women, before we even talk equality, we also need to look at that, because we can't be biased. Honestly, I want to tell you the truth. And there's no one who can be willing to run their company, and because the law says you must employ women or 51% must be women, people are not running charity organizations, and that's a fact. People are running businesses, they're after profit. An entrepreneur is a person who realizes an opportunity and they want to make money. It's so clear, the definition, if you go, it's very clear. It talks about profit at the end of the day. So it becomes very difficult as women for us to try and fit in. So I've realized that for you to be able to fit in, let them not get a reason, let them not find a reason not to. employ you.
Okay.
Know your story. That's number one. Because they are going to, if you don't know your story, they are going to use that against you. They are going to say, vakadzi venyu vacho vamoda kuti vaemploye ava vana zvavanoziva tiri kungoitawo. Ndo paunoona kuti unenge uri maybe CEO handiti, or an MD of a company, but your male counterpart achibhadhagwa zvakadarika zvako, mari yakadarika yako. I was seeing this other is it basketball or what? Both of them are world champions, but the salary yavo yakasiyana zvinotorwadza. It's very painful. Then you see kuti these things are not going to change. Then there's an issue kuti a woman is in a position to uplift other women when she doesn't do that. There are two reasons. I've realized that there are mostly two reasons. Number one, that woman has been betrayed before by fellow women that she has put in those positions. Then that becomes a problem then for her to trust again. You can't blame such a person. Once bitten, twice what? Shy. I don't know. Once chaka changes and do chakatanga. That's what people say. Right. Number two, there are those women who have gone up there and you can't blame them through other means. So now when they see a young mother or a young faith trying to achieve the same maybe height or whatever they have achieved, they think she's gonna use what they used to go on top there, right?
That's
Mina, it all comes back to men. It all comes back to men. Men are using their position and their powerfulness in the society to make sure that they remain on top. You go to a man looking for a job, they tell you, I can't give you the job before. I've lost so many opportunities. I've lost so many jobs. Right.
Yeah,
so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just saying, I'm speaking about things that happen. So for us to come out of this problem as women, we need to come up together. Yeah. Instead of you fighting that side chick, I'll take it personal now to you women, because I know that's what you okay. You are clever at that, at going and fighting other women. Why are you not fighting your men? So it starts from there.
Yeah.
That's the way you are my sister's keeper. It starts from there. If you want to really adhere to that, why are you not fighting with the men? Because he is the one cheating. Sometimes you tell Luguti, the woman that your man is cheating with is not married. So between the two of them, the one who is married is the one who is cheating. So this issue, as an entrepreneur, I've realized that there are so many things, and sometimes, yes, I try to be that strong entrepreneur, but my partner is holding me back. My partner is holding me down. If I try to engage with male people, he thinks I'm sleeping with them. So at the end of the day, you have, yes, because they don't believe in our potential. They don't believe in our potential. They don't think that we can make it without sex being involved. Life is not about sex. Yes.
Or maybe sometimes men feel that way because that's what they do when they are at work.
Yes.
To give them opportunities. So when
to give them opportunities,
go out there and wanna do it, they think another man is also gonna do the same thing. I'm not sure, but that's my thinking.
Yeah, I think that's kind of true. I will agree with you there. So can I go on?
Yes. You can.
Yeah, so I was saying my journey as an entrepreneur started during the first lockdown. Because when I came to South Africa, they told me you cannot work in the mining industry because you don't have a blasting license that is endorsed in South Africa. Surprisingly, South Africans can go and work with their blasting licenses in Zimbabwe, mind you. It's actually in the mining and safety regulations, I guess. Yeah, they can. They just have to sit for an exam and they're done, as long as they have proof. But it's not like that in this country. Then I started doing some part-time work as a freelance facilitator and all. Then, education institutions were closed by the time, during that lockdown time. That's when I decided, you know what, let me start something. Then that's when I started this construction thing. It's hard. It's very difficult. When you go there, take a quotation as a woman, some male customers would say to you, you know what, why don't you just leave this? Okay, and then you know what's coming next. I love you. So now already you went there looking for work. You went there as an independent person. But once someone start mentioning love when you're looking for work, it just
Yeah.
drains the life out of you, because you'll be like, oh, okay, so I'm just fit for being a lover, not a business person.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
Yeah,
they
it's so sad.
all those things start. So now I've been here for almost a year, and the only thing that has kept me going is it's the goals that I've set for myself. I've failed so many times. I've been betrayed so many times. I've been called all sorts of names so many times, but I've told myself that I'm not gonna give up.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
I might not be rich, but I'll die trying. I'll try. And I also mentor students through a program by the Department of Mineral Resources here. I just want to see them prosper. I know the industry they are going to is very tough, and there are men there who are already established who think that by proposing to women, they're actually doing them a favor. You know what? I don't know how to say this, but men, as long as you cannot provide your own meal, people will abuse you, whether it be it's family members or what. So if the government is really, or if the governments in Africa are really serious about their let's empower women, they must stop providing only shelter, because it doesn't help. My husband beats me, they shelter me for 3 months. So what's next? They give me free food. What's next?
Yeah,
To
I
me,
think
that
you are
doesn't.
touching
Yeah.
on something. You are
Yes.
touching on something, and it's not just about women. Anybody who feeds you controls you. So the
Exactly.
moment you are relying on that, especially women, we are at a very disadvantage, because you pay with your body either way. And the moment that you say no, you are losing that opportunity. The struggle continues.
Exactly.
And with what you have highlighted, it seems like women are not really coming together to unite to say, at least if there is a woman at that position, she can be able to hire us without asking for this, because they just look at my CV, they're not looking at anything else.
Yes.
But if
Yes.
they've got on that position using the same modus operandi that men are using, with all these other women, it's still she won't. She also wants you to go and pay the price. So,
Exactly.
so it becomes really difficult. I would like to. I think Tariro have managed to just log in. Tariro, good afternoon. Good day, Tariro. Can you hear me? You are muted. She's been struggling with her network since we started. Okay. Yes, good
I'm a
afternoon. Yes, can you hear me? Mm. Okay, she's been kicked out. The network again. Okay, let me introduce a man. We have a king in the house among the queens. He's been following the conversations, and I said, let me welcome you on the show. Let me just log you in so that you can be able to share from what he touched on. He said the balance between women and men has already been achieved in our ancient African societies, and we must go back to these concepts. Women are the true administrators of the world and the universe. King Ajam, welcome to the show. I would really love you to just expand on what you just shared here on our Facebook.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I would just like to say thank you for inviting me on. It's quite early on this side, but I woke up because I don't know. I just woke up. I checked my phone. I saw the show was on. I started listening, and I'm very
Mm-hmm.
passionate about the subject, even though I'm not a woman.
No, thank
Um,
you.
everything that I've heard goes on this side, but it goes on even more. So it's not like it's only in Africa, or it's only in Azania, or it's only in Zimbabwe. It goes on all of the time, and frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. So as a man, when I'm in conversations with other men, then I speak out and I tell them in their face, hey, that's not right. I don't know what you're talking about, and this and that. And then, because of this, I don't have a lot of male friends. I don't keep a lot of female friends because, I'm married. And I understand, human nature. And I understand, what's going on in the world. I've been around. So I'm kind of one of a kind type of individual. However, I cannot neglect the fact that women are such an important part of any society. So the comments
Amen.
the comments that I made on with you today, the comment about how women are the administrators of the world, is because women men look at things from a logical point. However, this is not a theory that I'm coming up with. This is not a theory, and it's not a belief. It's fact. It's fact. Women have a nurturing side. Men normally don't nurture. I don't nurture my son. I don't go up to my son and try to hug him or kiss him. That's not the first thing on my mind. The first thing on my mind is, did you do your work? Did you listen to your mother? Did you do what I told you to do? Whatever. But it's not that nurturing part. Women have the power of nurturing, and they also have the power of logic. So you can't say women don't think logically. That doesn't make any sense. They do. Men normally think logically. That's it. They're about, I'm going to be the defender, whatever Western society has placed in their minds. Because I live in a Western society, a dominated society. Let's just be honest. And when I started to realize, when I started to research, where does this thing of women being subservient to men come from? You have to go back, since it's a Western dominated society, you have to go back to ancient Rome and ancient Greece. And when you go back to ancient Rome and ancient Greece, I found through research and reading numerous texts that the ancient Greeks had a problem with women. They had a problem dealing with them. They had a problem. They only wanted to mate with them, and that's it. They didn't let them leave the house. They didn't let them in forms of government. They didn't let them do much of anything. So I'm like, oh, okay. Red flag number one. Then you go over to Rome. It's the same thing, because all the Romans did was adopt everything that the Greeks did. So then when you come forward and then this ideology was passed on to the Western Hemisphere, you see it from Alaska all the way down to Chile. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. So you got a bunch of people acting with a foreign concept. Okay? Stop dealing with somebody else's concept. And then when I did further research in Africa, because I went around the world first, I looked around the world. Majority of the world is matriarchal. They actually understand that the lineage comes through the woman and not through the man, because the boy child and the girl child comes from the woman. So they give the woman that place. They give her the title Queen Mother. She has authority even over a king. So even if a person's a king, the Queen Mother can intervene and say, "No, I'm sorry, King, you're out of place. I'm taking over right now until we get some balance back." And if you can't be king, then so be it. I'll choose another one. You see, so we keep, I don't know what we're doing, and it's very disturbing. And we shouldn't even have shows like this. I mean, and I don't mean that in a negative way. What I mean is our humanity should be at a level where we recognize where women should be. I mean, I'm a man. It's not rocket science. I don't need all this doctorate degrees and all this stuff to understand that. All you got to do is just look. Let me give you some more examples. My mother raised me, not because my father was a deadbeat. My mother actually stated the reason why she divorced my father is because she felt he wasn't motivated enough. He wasn't a go-getter, according to her. She was like, you holding me back. So my mom was like, I'll see you later, brother. You know, I still respect you. You can still speak to your son or whatever it may be, but I'm out. I gotta go. I gotta go do some stuff. And she did. She did a lot of things in her life, which motivates me. And let me go further. In the U.S., the hierarchy are women. The hierarchy is European women are at the top. Then you got Asians. Then you got this thing called Hispanic. Then you got this thing called Native. Then you got this thing. Well, actually, African is the core of everything, but they're at the bottom. African women are at the bottom of the social status or the social ladder here in the United States, and it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad that number one, women didn't have a right to vote in the United States in 1920. It's pretty sad that every other woman, that was white women only. So white women could not vote to 1920. Every other woman could not vote until 1968. So you can kind of see how this society is very patriarchal. Now, what I've noticed in the U.S. society, and I'm getting over to Africa. Trust me, I'm going to get there. What I've noticed in the U.S. society is that it is embedded in the culture and in the belief system. So the belief system, they're I don't know if they're taking well, I think one of the queens mentioned that the text was taken out of context. Well, they take it out. They do that. People do that, and they did it, and they do it all the time. And I still hear numerous times of the month, I hear men saying, "Oh yeah, you know, women came from Adam's rib and this," and you're like, "What?" And I'm like, man, you got wow. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that because I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying it's a little bit deeper than what the person is reading into. There's a deeper meaning to that. There's a very deeper meaning to that. And when I explain to brothers and men the deeper meaning, they're like, "Oh, I never thought about that." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness. Okay, that's probably where the problem lies." So anyway, so the belief system is very patriarchal, and then the culture is definitely perpetuating this man-dominated world. So right now, most people, if you ask them who's in charge of the planet, they'll say men is. Now, if men are in charge of the planet, let's say they are, right? And I'm not happy with that, but let's just say they are. Then logic would say, you know what? There's a lot of stuff messed up, a lot of wars going on, a lot of homelessness. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff messed up. There's a lot of stuff messed up. And then every little, when I'm looking at, like, for instance, terrorist groups, who's the leader of the terrorist group? It's a man. You know what I'm saying? Who is the leader of all of these things that are going on? It's men. Most of the leaders in Africa are men. Most of the leaders in Europe are men. Most of the leaders that run companies are men. So if that's messed up, if that's not working right, then you got to blame the man. You got to blame the man. So my thing is, why can't men say, you know what? Let's just go ahead and let's just step down for a moment. Let's let the women rule. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I don't have a problem with that. I've never had a problem with women. I don't look at women as sex objects and all of that. That's to me, that's disrespectful and that's just ridiculous. Makes no sense. So, and because I hold women in high regard, a lot of women actually are like, this man is strange. I'm staying away from him because they're so used to the culture and they're so used to the belief systems, or I should say the misinterpretation of the belief systems. They're so used to that. So I'm like an oddity. So they stay away from me. They're like, oh man, I got something wrong with him. You see? So I don't want you guys to think, you know, that a lot of all men are thinking the same way, which I know most people would not feel that way. However, men just need to grow up. I feel, stop acting like little children, and go back. Just look. Just I'm not saying go. I'm not saying live in the past. What I'm saying is look at the past so you can move forward. But just look at the past for a moment. And you mentioned, Queen, all of these different women that were in power. There's so many others that you didn't mention.
Yes.
There are so many others. I've read every last one of them, and every last one of them had a husband. So what? He was a punk because he allowed his woman to rule? No, he wasn't. He wasn't less of a man. He wasn't less of a man. He was the true man. He was a true man. He was a true man. And like in my house, I'm not the ruler. I don't rule this house. Neither does my wife. She doesn't rule it. We're just in here. We have certain tasks that we do. I don't do men tasks, and she only does women tasks. I cook. I clean.
Right, Tim.
I iron my own clothes. I do all kinds of stuff that are women. I had a guy, he was walking by my house, and I had the garage open because I have a little area in my garage where I study and I do certain things in here and contemplate and so forth. And he saw me iron, and he said, "Oh, why are you doing that woman's job?" And I said, "Hey, brother," I said, if I was you, I would keep walking. I just keep walking, my brother. Just keep walking. Don't worry about what I'm doing up in here. So the thing is that it's embedded in the minds. So my thing is, I taught my son, hey man, this is how it is from an early age. So now he's 15. He don't have, you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? I had to change it, and my wife, of course, is like, wow, this man actually changed something that was plaguing men for generations. Can you imagine not including, let's go back to ancient Rome and Greece just real quick. Can you imagine not including women in your society? They just got to stay at home, and they don't make, and then that's when I found out, oh, that's where that stuff comes from. Staying at home, cooking and cleaning. It's because everybody's copying these ancient societies from Europe. I'm not a European. Okay, and I make that clear when I make that clear when I go out in public. Okay, I'm wearing African attire. I'm letting people know there's nothing wrong with Africa. There's nothing wrong with women being in power. There's nothing wrong with our concepts. They're not inhumane. They're humane. All right, and they also comply with human rights.
That's true. So I think, you have really said a mouthful, and I appreciate that. And I believe that there is a lot of women who see things that way. There are a lot of men out there who see things the same way, and wants a better future for our kids, wants our boy child to be better men. And I love what you emphasize on. We don't have to copy their concept. Let's go back to our African concept, the concept of how we used to do things. I've seen, like, just recently, the Zulu king Zelintwini died, and now his wife, the queen, is the one who is going to choose who is going to be the next king. So for now, she's the regent for the next 3 months. This is the power that she carries. She's the one who is fit to actually be the next king. So
yeah, women actually are the, like you stated, are the only ones that can kind of tap into that type of energy or that type of power. They're the only ones. Men don't have that discernment. They don't have that. And see, men don't talk about that. Also, too, men need to start working on, stop being animalistic, right? Stop thinking with your body and start thinking with your mind, And I started doing that like about 15 years ago. And I've seen dramatic changes in my life. Okay. I don't think with my body. Okay. Because the body will mislead you. But my mind never misleads me. My logic, it doesn't mislead me. It keeps me where I'm supposed to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. So all you men out there, ain't nothing wrong with that. Now you can say, oh, well, this man, he live in the United States. He don't live in Africa, blah, 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 Ray. Okay, how come I've been all over the world 3 times? And I've been in all kind of different societies. And ain't nobody said, oh, that's not a man. I mean,
I don't think
I mean,
it's
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to figure it out myself. Maybe we need a show to figure out why men got everything so jacked up.
no, we're going to invite them. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna have a show with only men, and we're going to tackle this issue, head on, physically. We need to finish this thing off because look, we have so much that we can achieve without all this power game. We have so much that we can do. I'm just gonna quickly read a comment here before I can go back to Faith from the founder of Radio 54 African Panorama, Eric Knight, who wrote, wonderful discussion, Martha Matarenda Shumba. Big up on the guest for opening up. Tell Faith she has just won another fan in me. So yeah, back to you, Faith, who just won a fan. Given everything that King Ajame has been sharing and all, and how we can go back to using our own African concept, how do you think we can do this best? Going back to the African concept. This is not really going back to Mapane Shashiko and so forth, but just picking up where we left off, picking up how our ancestors used to do things and living happily ever after without all this fighting for 50-50. Faith? Okay, I wanted Faith to pick that one up.
Thank you so much, Martha. Wow, I'm really excited. Just hearing the different perspectives, and I'm actually, should I say, I'm excited. I have this joy in me that's unexplainable, really, and I'm like, wow. This is a powerful discussion that is very intriguing. So, and I really appreciate everyone who is making an input on this discussion. It's more like there's a light that has just come to Africa and beyond, because we are going to start to see a lot of these more men, who are actually going to be saying, you know what, let our sisters lead, let our wives lead, let our mothers lead and our aunts lead. It's really exciting that there are men out there who actually support and who have no problems in doing housework. It's more like how the unpaid care work and how people are sharing duties, which is perfect. It's magnifique, so they say in French. So going forward, that we need the grassroots, community-based organizations. We are talking about, if we're talking about right now, there's the Sustainable Development Goal number 5, which is talking about gender equality and etc. Now, because our world is ever evolving, and if we are feeding into the Agenda 2063, the agenda, if we're talking in Zimbabwe, the National Development Strategy 1, which also talks about capacitating women in not just providing shelter, but also empowering them economically as well. So, as I mentioned before, it is a collective effort, Martha. A collective,
That's true.
everybody has to understand, okay, fine. So maybe if we have should I say, strategic sessions where people can input on how the programs that we can use, or the activities that we can use to to bring about this new, or to go back to how it used to be and even better, because now our culture is very important, as Africans, as women, balance, creating that balance. We now, all of us, we just have to create that holistic approach to all of this: the NGOs, the community based organizations, the government, the families, the religious sector. Everyone has a part to play. Unity, unity, unity for sustainable development is the mantra. If we are to see Africa arising in its power, there's a reason why countries are called her. A nation is not called he. Because a country carries it carries depth, it carries seeds that when it is nurtured, it brings about a harvest that is unexplainable. And right now, Africa, we are in a ripe season. If we're, not even talking from the perspective of the church or anything, but just spiritually, really, Africa is in that season. For those who are time sensitive, Africa is in that season where it is going to flourish like never before. And all of us, we just have to say, okay, you know what? Let's do this and just move forward and
That's right.
capacitate the woman. And another, yeah, it is a
Okay, you,
collective effort, unity. It's like a wheel. Yeah, it's like a wheel. A wheel has different parts for it to move forward. It's got the spokes, it's got the screws, it's got the tube. So all of those spokes, all of the tube and the screws, all of them, they come together to create a wheel. And for a wheel to move forward, it needs each and every single spoke, it needs each and every single uh screw, it needs that tube that has the air in it to move forward. So for us to move forward, we have to be collective and deliberate in our actions.
oh, that's true. Thank you so much, Faith. That's Faith Mugududu, who is a life guide in Zimbabwe and Africa as a whole. She's doing quite a lot of amazing work, and it's so great to have you on this show. What we are sharing is really quite eye-opening. I love what Tendai shared earlier when she said, providing shelters, then what? And we look at the sustainable development goals. We have had a problem just looking at since the sustainable development goals were launched, to say nothing much has been done. It's been on talk, it's been on speech, it's been on paper, but nothing much practical. You find out that they've written all of this, some received even funding, but not much work is really done. And it should be a collective effort, even from the UN to the AU to SADC to our governments, moving to the village headman himself. It needs to go to start from there, going up. Otherwise, we will just be pushing and giving it very fancy names, but they will just keep turning on the same position. So I think I love what you are saying and your suggestions. As Radio 54 African Panorama, this is why we are here. We'll always make sure every day we have a show happening that is going to empower people. And Faith, I've seen your profile, the organizations that you're working with. There is King Ajamu is pushing something. He's basically in the USA with other women that we're gonna be bringing here so that we can exchange information. Tendai Mako, we are already working on the ground, and everything that we are doing. So this is an invitation to any other woman, to any other men out there, to say, this is the problem that we are facing. We have all the solutions. Why are we not coming together now and implement everything that we have? Why are we not uniting to make this possible. I'm gonna read this before we move to Tendai. Wow, what a topic! Listening all the way from South Africa. That's Mngcobi Mhlophe. Mngcobi Mhlophe. Thank you so much for tuning in, and Messi Best. Thank you so much for being here. Flatter Shoko as well. King Fazan Ajo from United Africa Family. Thank you so much for being here. It's a great topic. Tembi Marapani, she's having issues with her network, but that's okay. I'm just gonna give you guys time because I think we have about 15 minutes. 15 minutes to go before we can just log off. Tentai, what do you think is the way forward in business and in politics to make sure that we have women in leadership without, clashing as men and women? What can we do? Any suggestions that you think works? I mean, given your experience.
So I would like to take you a little bit back that politics and entrepreneurship, from my own point of view, they're always moving hand in hand, because your entrepreneurship is based on the political environment. So in as much there are people who say, I'm not a politician, I don't want to get involved in politics. As long as you're an entrepreneur, you will one way or the other be involved in politics. So it's either you won't be able to participate or show that you belong to a certain party. You can't be partisan, but already you've got a bias towards a certain political party. Why? Because maybe you subscribe to their ideology or their way of doing things. So as an entrepreneur, you also need to be careful that you don't really align yourself to a certain political party. In case things change, politics change, people change, but the business is to remain afloat. So you need also to make sound decisions based on what you see, and you need also to know that politics will always affect your business. Just like, for example, in Zimbabwe, the politics in Zimbabwe is affecting the investors. The sanctions in Zimbabwe are affecting the coming in of investors. So as an entrepreneur in Zimbabwe, those are some of the things that you need to acquaint yourself with so that you can make sound decisions for your business. Then as to answer your questions on what you think we must do, I think like for women, the governments must come up with a strategy, something that is aligned to helping women, maybe removing some obstacles, trying to minimize them, so that people don't have to pass through 10 offices, because the moment they pass through 10 offices, know that all the 10 men, because usually they are the leaders, want to sleep with that woman until she gets what she wants. So why don't we try to minimize all that, so that at least it becomes at least easy. If someone has got a business idea, if a woman has got a business idea, why don't we give them an opportunity? I like what my fellow brother, the King, who is in the house with us, said. He said things that are really, really happening. And if we could have 10 men in society like him, 10 only, I'm telling you, will be good. Because I think now he's the only one. Sorry to say this. But yes. So I think governments must try to help women, and women in high positions, because they are there already. Women in high positions, please look down where you came from. Please assist us, pull us up with you guys. You cannot be advocating for GBV organizations, but you're not doing things on the ground. There's a woman down there who doesn't even have internet. They need you. They are selling their vegetables somewhere down, I don't know where there's no network. They also need, let's reach every other woman. Let's groom our girls. I'm not gonna say this, but that's my belief. A marriage is not an achievement. Sorry, I'll say this a little bit low. Let's try to make sure that our kids have got what they need to stand up for themselves. Like I said, you cannot abuse someone whom you don't give food, because as long as I get food from you, you abuse me, and you just put the food at your back and say, do this and then I'll give you this. So if we empower women, empowering women is not taking them to shelters. Empowering women is not arresting the abusive husband. Yes, you can do that. And what's next? So those are some of the things I think women in positions must sit down and take them
And
seriously and make sure they empower each and every lady along their way. Some women don't really need thousands of dollars. Give them $100, they will go buy their vegetables and resell. They are okay. So it depends on the society that you're working with. Everyone has got different needs, different ambitions. It's not like everyone wants to be a millionaire. Some people just want a roof over their head. Some people just want food for their kids. Let's try to work together to give them such that decent meal that they're just asking for. I don't think it's too much to ask for. Men, please. Thank you.
thank you so much, Tentai Marco. We are left with 9 minutes, so I'll be dividing that with the guests. Mngobi. Sorry, Mngobi, I'm a Karanga woman. Some of the words I'm not able to, some of the names I'm not able to click my tongue. Mngobi Mhlope, he's saying, ha 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 ha. I am another one, meaning he's another man in the house who really believes that women can do it. So out of the 10 that was suggested by Queen Tendai, we have 2. We are left with 8 more. If we can have 8 more, the next show that we're gonna have, we're bringing in this Mhlope. Please get in touch on our inbox on Radio 54. I need you on the next show with King Ajamwi and the other 8 men. I'll need 10 men here so that we can talk about this issue. And Alex, on our Radio 54 page, if possible, I'll get in touch with you so that we can also add you on this conversation. What's your take, Faith? Then I can close up with King Ajamwi. I think you can do in the next 3 minutes. What's your, your final conclusion regarding the topic that we had? What's the way forward? What can be done? Mhlope is saying Tendai for president. Mhlope, you don't know what you are doing, eh? You don't know what you are saying here. This woman will wake up tomorrow and she'll be mobilizing and become the next president of Africa. Vote for Tendai for president. Faith, your final remarks regarding this, your advice out there, what needs to be done in the next 3 minutes, please. Faith, are you still with us?
Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Sorry, the network was breaking a bit.
Okay. Yes, I was saying
Hello?
just your final remarks before we close off.
Sorry, may you please repeat that?
Oh, just your final remarks or suggestions before we close off. We are only left with 6 minutes to go. So just in the next 2 minutes, what are your final remarks and your advice out there to men and women?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Going forward, Martha, I really encourage women to discover who they are. What do they like to do? What is their passion? What drives them to do what they do? For example, I'll give I'll give myself as an example. I started studying for development studies. Why? Because I am passionate for the development of Zimbabwe, for the development of Africa as a whole. Because I want to see an Africa that is capacitated and fully utilizing its resources.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now, in everything that I do, it has to be in that line. Whether whether I am helping other young women mentally overcoming depression, because health is also another factor, right? So there are 17 sustainable development goals, and surely each and every one of us can identify where is our strength in that, and then we walk in that path so that we are able to unite on the 17th SDG, which is building strong institutions and collaborations. Each and every one of us has a purpose. Each and every one of us has strengths. And as a woman, you have to motivate yourself. You are not going to be given a position. You have to rise up and take up the mango from the tree, and then you have to share that mango with those that are not able to climb, because everyone has got a point where they are at an advantage. No matter how much Martha, I've been hurt a lot, but I discovered what I do is not because of another person. I am doing this for Africa. So if I have to be doing things for Africa, it means that I have to look past the betrayal. I have to look past the jealousies, and to understand that if I'm raising other people up, it's not because of me, or it's not because I like the other person, but it's because I've understood that their strengths are not my strengths. If they're able to flourish in a certain department, then so be it, because I've now understood who I am, where I'm going, and what I want to achieve. So, which is something I really encourage women to do. That, and also not to be desperate to be in relationships. If I actually enjoyed the story. Where his mom said, "You know what? You are slowing me down. Bye. I respect you, but bye bye." We have to come to a stage where we are good on our own, but at the same time, we also need to understand that if it is purpose and destiny, we have to be willing to let go anything that is stopping us. This is what I really encourage women out there to arise and take your mango from the tree, arise and take your positions, arise, and you can still be a wonderful wife at the same time. And to men, please do support your women, because you just never know. You may just be married to the next president. Who knows?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Faith,
Thank
because
you.
of our time. King Ajamu, can you do in 1 minute? Eric Knight is saying you are one of this. You are out of this world at Ajamu. Thanks a lot, brother man. This is from the founder and our leader at Radio 54 African Panorama. Just close up in 1 minute, then we're good to go.
It's possible. What can be done is that it starts with the individual. I had to put myself in isolation. I mean, direct isolation for about it took me about 4 or 5 years. I looked at everything that was negative about myself, about the society, about the culture. And then after I examined all those things on my own, then I decided, okay, I'm not going to deal with that no more. I'm not dealing with that negativity. So it starts with the person. Okay. So once you change your mindset, everything else falls into place. I.e., example, I'm able to teach my son now. I'm able to teach my grandchildren and so forth. So it's not hard. You just have to start with yourself. And I think a lot of men, they're so egotistical and arrogant that they don't want to start with themselves. They want to blame everybody else. No, brother, it's you. It's you. Start with yourself, and then everything else will fall into place. And then last but not least, I encourage all women to rise up, and go back to where you're supposed to be at, because you are already there. You are already there. You were running nations, complete nations. You were running armies. You went into battle. You were the first into battle. Okay, there's many stories I've heard. Even in the Haitian Revolution, the majority of the women that were in the revolution, they were key. They were key to that island being rid of slavery and so forth. They were key. Women, not Desalim and Toussaint and all of them. It was the women. All right, and now we're finding this out later. But anyway, yes. So women, rise. Go back to your place. I support you. I'm not less of a man. It's not like that. I don't feel that way. Okay, you're not weaker. You're smart. Keep going.
Thank you so much. Yes, we've run out of time. This is exactly 3 o'clock, and this is me saying goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much to our guests. Thank you so much to Radio 54. Thank you so much to our listeners, to everybody who engaged today. Have a lovely day. We had Faith Mbududu from Zim, a life guide. We have Tendai Mago, who is a business and a politician. We have King Ajamu, who is an international history teacher, a Pan-African and a leader. And with Tariro have shared trouble. She's a journalist, but I'm gonna bring her in back again. And we have Abomhlope, Eric Tembi, Zanele Mpofu, everyone who is out there was tuned in. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Till next week, Sunday. See you.